Okay, it's on. Welcome back to BSLIVE. Today we're gonna try to do some kind of improv painting. So painting, there are a lot of ways to do painting in Blender. Um, you can actually paint using grease pencil as well on the 3D objects. But I'm gonna just do maybe like paint dots on my face. So let's try that. So we're gonna switch to texture painting mode. Check. Okay, normally I'm gonna switch to tools. Well, actually, texture painting is here. There's this tab. You click texture painting, and now I disappear. Okay. All right. So by default, you get this 2D texture, and you have this 3D area to do painting, right? And then you switch to you select the objects. You go to texture paint mode, and your face turn pink. That means you don't have texture yet. So normally the correct way in Blender is to create a material slot. Whether you want to paint the base color, roughness, metallic, already know the drill. Create a base color, hit OK. And now my face is a bit lagging, but I get in Blender. So if you're painting on an objects with shape keys animation, but I know there's a way to go around it. I already reported this bug to Blender developer and they're working on it. So let's try again. Okay, back to this guy. Select the face, texture painting. Let's get rid of this top view. I'm gonna switch tool, add a base color. Okay, so oh yeah, it's now starting to get a bit slow once I do that. But you can actually paint a dot. So if you just click, this actually works, which is quite interesting. Which means you can actually select a color, pick a color, let's say something really bright, okay, something crazy like, okay, not pink, maybe red paint, not good as well. So for now, to create a duplicate of my head, okay, let's try that. Alright, so get back head. This time I'm gonna save this and select the head, go into texture paint, tools, add base color. Okay, so we cannot hit fill. Now it's actually lagging on my Mac here, but let's try make a face. And then I duplicate it, right? This face, actually, something that I can paint because it's not moving. The shape keys is not moving, so it's not gonna crash. Let's go back here, and we can paint it. Let's pick some crazy color. So I give a fill on this guy. And okay, map cat. We need to go to studio and texture material. Let me check if I connected this properly to the shader. So we have material base. Let's actually try texture paint once again. Okay, nice. Now it's actually working. Can I feel it? I'm feeling it with, somehow I'm feeling it with white color. Maybe because I have this BPainter. Oh yeah, that's why. I have BPainter tools on top of Blender usual normal tool. Right, anyway, so we can start painting dots. Right. So this is actually better, and so if this guy should have the texture. Alright. Now I can actually paint while my head is moving around. Yeah, it's actually quite lagging there. Something else that I want to try. Okay, painting is fun. I want to try. Let's see. So I have this BPainter, and BPainter have a lot of preset brush, which is pretty cool. Like things like particles. It's kind of nice. It can really add a lot of expression there. I'm actually recently I purchased this armor paint and kind of want to try that as well. The thing about painting in Blender is that you're working with a texture, but what if you have like multiple PBR and you want to layer stuff? That's why I purchased this BPainter at some point, and BPainter has been quite useful. It has its own kind of a workflow. It has a bit of learning curve, but with BPainter you can actually layer things, and it actually quite a powerful workflow once you get to understand it. So like for this guy, for example, if I want to start working with BPainter, I created some kind of like this slot. Okay, currently the base color is already being used. Let me delete that. So we are back to 0 with this guy. All right, so let's get rid of this. Create base color. Okay, so diffuse layer. Now we actually, in the cycles or EV shader, we have this guy over here. This is from BPainter. If you go inside, currently it's empty, but once you start adding layers of texture, it's starting to get quite complex inside this node, but you can do a lot. Like you can do layering very easily. So let's actually use a proper brush. Okay, so this is one layer of brush, and once I've done with this, I can actually add another layer and paint it a different color. There you go. So this is already quite cool, because on top of Blender usual environment with the PBR, shader, etc., if you go inside this, you can see there's some kind of clever layering going on, and you can actually turn this on and off, and you can change the layering order. This is what I really like from BPainter. It's really actually quite powerful. And BPainter, I think, is around the same price as Armory. Armory is actually an app in itself, and I actually want to show that as well. So while maybe I close Blender for now. Actually, save this as, yeah, I just save it. Painting face or painted face, whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna close this for now. Close Blender. I believe it was built on Armory engine, which is also something that can work in Blender. And I need to have my face. I think I should already have the face here. Well, I should have prepared this, but I believe I have monkey. Okay, if I just drop monkey head, import. Right, so you have monkey head, but yeah, okay, with Armory, right click is rotate. Okay, and with Armory you have a different interface, and let's change the color. Okay, let's double click here. When you double click, you get this node preview, and you can change the color of the brush. So Armory, it has its own simplicity, and I really quite like it. So it seems to be like a node base as well, and you actually have layer here as well. And this is the base layer. So for the base layer, normally you fill it. Let's fill it with some kind of dark color. So that's the base, the very base layer. And I'm gonna create a new layer. And we have this bluish color by default. I'm gonna change it. Okay, now we paint the brush. You can see it's actually really smooth as well. That's really cool. And we can on and off, just like what I did with BPainter. And I can create a new layer and pick another color. So that's really quite cool. You can on and off, and we can actually reorder this, and we can do like things like merge and then change the mix, blending, etc. Let's actually do something. Let's create another layer. This time I'm gonna try using magic texture, for example. Plug this to the base, start painting. We have something that's really quite magical. It's pretty random, and it's actually quite powerful too, in a way. So I just replace it with noise texture, and we have this smooth noise, and it's and you can still paint like normally, and you can put this, maybe reorder this. Now you have like multiple order. So armor paint. Okay, let's on top of that armor paint. So you can see this is a single material, and we are painting with this material, which is interactive and live. Let me create like two material, for example, and I want to import things. So with armor paints, I noticed that we cannot import PNG from this browser, which is kind of strange. You can import JPEG, but you can drag and drop PNG. So let's actually switch to another folder if I can. I have my materials. Let's try with the bamboo. And I believe with Armory you cannot drag and drop multiple objects at the same time, which is kind of a pity, but it's okay. Let's do this for now, one by one. Okay. So ideally, it should load it automatically as a PBR. But I'm gonna show you. Let's delete this. Bring in our bamboo. This is definitely the normal. What is this? Roughness, metalness? Okay. One of this. And start painting. Let's create a new layer. Wow, look at this. Right. And we are painting with a bamboo material. And this material is actually using the UV and has been wrapped into this guy based on the UV map. You can actually use a different thing like triplanar, or maybe there's a box mapping as well. I believe so. So you can, yeah, triplanar. You have a different UV and you paint on top of this monkey head. So that's another material. So you can easily quickly switch to another material. So this is actually really quite beneficial and quite powerful. I have my own, I think I have this one, which is like a granite. Color. Did I drag and drop it? Okay. Displacement, okay, there's displacement, normal, roughness, ambient occlusion, don't care. So for now, I think this is the one. Base color, create another layer. Okay, that's my material. What is this? Roughness or displacement? This is definitely the normal. Maybe, okay, this is the displacement. But yeah, Armor Paint is also still kind of under development, and it's a version 1. Maybe it's will be more stable, but I just want to show you kind of like just the most basic workflow. And Armor Paint has things with a color ID and UV as well. So let's get back to our face. So let's try and see if this is actually still working. Maybe the head is no longer moving around. Oh well, doesn't matter. For now, it is static. Let's try also Vertex Paint, which is actually a lot faster in this version of Blender 2.82. Vertex Paint is also another way you can paint very quickly. Some people actually really like Vertex Paint. Your model, however, needs to have a lot of resolution. So let's duplicate this guy and add subdivisions. Apply. Oh, this guy have shape keys. Cannot be applied to mesh with shape keys. Okay, can I convert it at least? Okay, that works. Texture paint. Actually, Vertex Paint. Paint mode, change the color. Alright. Right click is actually paint picker. Vertex Paint is really powerful and really fast too with this latest version of Blender, which is quite amazing. So that's also another way you can do painting. On top of this, you also have, of course, grease pencil. Don't forget grease pencil. Grease pencil is totally cool. grease pencil. We have grease pencil objects. Now we can start drawing on this guy. Make sure it's set to surface. Okay, so we can paint on this guy, right? Cannot see anything because we need to set our material properly. All right, so let's start drawing. This option. So okay, I just pick my brush. I'm just painting with my mouse over here. So when using grease, I often think in terms of just stroke, and it's a good way to just add some kind of a human touch to your 3D models, because 3D models tend to be really quite too perfect. Hand drawn is really more human. That's why the last Spider-Man, I mean the Spider-Man Spider-Verse, it's very cool because it has human touch on it. And so yeah, it's really good for making strokes and adding outline. Some people actually don't think in terms of stroke. They like it to have more like a painterly look, so you can do that as well. With painting, maybe you want to use fill, but you can also use the stroke, like really thick stroke. But fill, I think fill. So by default, if you painting with fill, you can't really see it unless you perhaps hide this face or maybe offset it. So that's the fill. So we are actually has been doing it in 3D. So let's try this. Make a bunch of this. I believe with the stroke we can also offset it slightly. There you go. Surface offset. So we really like almost like a stamping, and the color is all based on this material. Ah, okay. This pencil is really quite powerful, and of course if you want something that's a little bit more precise, you can actually use circle or box here. So that's box and circle. Slightly slower on my Mac. Hit escape because it's somehow weird and slow. Go back to my pencil. The fastest is actually just using stroke like this. Just drawing dots on my face here. And if you change the color, everything changes. So this is also something that might surprise people, that we can, since we are actually working with grease pencil, this is like a vector. So changing a color here is changing everything, because they all belongs, they all were drawn using the same material and happen to be on the same GP layer. But you can always have another fill material and use different color. So interesting gotcha there. And yeah, on top of material we also have layers, is also might be surprising for a lot of people, but it's becoming more common. Even if you're using apps like on the iPad, what is this? What's the app like? There's an app called Loom. It's actually very similar to this. So you have layers and you have material. And since this is grease pencil, it also can be animated. So you can go to different frame and you can have different layers and you can start painting. So everything will disappear because we are now on a different frame. If we switch back to previous layer, we have our previous artwork. Suddenly you might realize it's become really like powerful tools. So many ways to work. So you're not like working only on the 3D objects itself, but you're also using grease pencil on top of it. And it's really powerful. Feel and strokes, I think that's what you have to think of. And you're drawing shapes basically. It's all like pretty relaxing in its own way. Yeah, so whether you are using Blender owns painting ways or grease pencil or Vertex Paint or even like using like something like Armor Paint, it's all quite interesting and different in its own way. So, but anyway, I think that's really quite meditative. Hopefully you find it useful. Anyway, I'm gonna continue with the grease pencil. I think this is actually one of my favorite, even though I'm just using my mouse, but you can see how expressive the result is. And you can actually render it out. Okay, thanks again for tuning in. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye.